Happy Halloween, guys! Wait a second. Something's not right. Oh, I know. 1 second. Much better.
This is Halloween, this is Halloween.
It's that time of year when we love to be scared, or just go out and have a good time. But sometimes you just want to stay home. Sometimes you just want to sit in front of the TV. So here are some of the best TV episodes in universes where it's Halloween year-round. Supernatural Season 4, Episode 7. It's the Great Pumpkin, Sam Winchester. Every episode is Halloween in Supernatural. I mean, they live in a universe filled with monsters and demons, so it's only natural. In the episode, It's the Great Pumpkin, Sam Winchester, who takes its title from arguably the best Halloween special of all time, we have a witch who is hell-bent on raising an ancient and powerful demon, Samhain. And to do that begins sacrificing people. Of course, the Winchesters become involved, but not everything is as it seems. It turns out that raising Samhain is one of the seals that needs to be broken to release Lucifer from his cage. And to prevent this from happening, two angels, Castiel and Uriel, decide that maybe they should just destroy the entire town. It's up to Sam and Dean to stop that from happening by taking out the evil witches trying to raise the demon. This is a great Halloween episode with the attempted raising of a demon. And for those of you who don't know, Samhain, or Samhain as it's supposed to be pronounced, is an ancient Celtic harvest festival that celebrated from the evening of Halloween, October 31st, to November 1st. It's also been adopted into Wiccan traditions. But Supernatural did what Supernatural tends to do, and they supernaturalized it, which means that they created a demon. One that could raise zombies, ghosts, and ghouls. I mean, you can't get more Halloween than that. Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Season 4, Episode 4. Fear Itself. In the Buffyverse, it's Halloween every day, only with a lot more vampires and apocalypses to thwart. But still, they managed to pull off 3 major Halloween episodes. Fear Itself is by far the strongest of the 3. No weird, awkward accents, and no silly, boring teenage rebellion. In the Buffyverse, the supernatural world takes the day off on Halloween, which makes it a little light on Slayer work. But it also gives Buffy the opportunity to go out with friends. One of the frats on campus is throwing a huge Halloween party, which means they've decorated their entire house to be a house of horrors. Except, during the setup, they have a bit of a mishap when Oz and the frat bros accidentally summon the fear demon Gaknar. The demon possesses the house, and the innocuous frat party becomes a truly frightening night they will always remember. It's a super fun episode full of light horror, but by the end of the episode, every character has had to face their own inner demons. Plus, we have Giles with a chainsaw. And the beginning of one of the best long-running jokes in the entire show, Anya's fear of bunnies. As far as Halloween episodes go, this should definitely be on your must-watch list. The Vampire Diaries, Season 1, Episode 7. Haunted. The Vampire Diaries has a few Halloween-themed episodes, but nothing holds a candle to the original, because it elevated the show from its cheesy CW teen drama roots to something with stakes, and it may even be one of the best episodes of the entire series. Vicky was turned by Damon, out of pure boredom mostly, but he's not exactly the pinnacle of the responsible vampire daddy, and she's completely out of control with bloodlust. And doesn't seem to want to find calm, but have more fun now that she isn't a boring old human anymore. Meanwhile, Bonnie is learning more about her mysterious witchy background. The school is throwing a Halloween party. I mean, it's a parade of costumes, so what better place for a newly turned vampire to hide in plain sight? But of course, disaster strikes. When Vicky loses control, she attacks her friends and nearly kills Elena and Jeremy. Luckily, Stefan saves the day, but at what cost? This episode definitely has bite, pun completely intended, and it hits you where it hurts, right in the feels. But it also has a healthy dose of witches and vampires to sate all your Halloween needs. American Horror Story, Season 1, Episode 4 and 5. Halloween, Part 1 and 2. This show definitely lives up to its name. Each episode is horrifying in its own way. It's not really my cup of tea, but they really go in on Halloween, as evidenced by their 8 Halloween-centric episodes. This horror story was so epic that it had to be split into a 2-parter. Part 1 was even nominated for a Primetime Emmy. I mean, for costumes, but still. The spirits of the murder house seem to grow stronger. So much so that the lines between life and death are blurred, and it allows the dead to walk the earth. And boy, do they. The murder house oozes Halloween by being haunted to the rafters. The occupants of the house are affected by the world of the dead, as the past literally comes back to haunt the living and the dead alike. Victims of chaos and murder walk the earth again, and deliver terror to anyone that crosses their paths. We even get to see a reappearance of the Rubber Man. These 2 episodes are so chock full of ghosts that they are sure to fulfill your Halloween needs, with creepy, heartfelt horror. Angel, Season 5, Episode 5. Life of the Party. If you didn't already know, Angel is a spin-off show from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, which firmly cements it in a world of perpetual Halloween. I mean, its main character is a vampire. Since Angel took over the evil law firm Wolfram and Hart, he has to play nice with all the demons and creatures of the evil otherworld. So Lauren organizes a giant Halloween party, except no one's helping, which is a nightmare in and of itself. So he has his sleep removed, so he's on 24/7. Except lack of sleep makes an empath like Lauren split his subconscious. But his monstrous manifestation wreaks havoc on the partygoers and his friends. It doesn't help that he's accidentally controlling his friends, which leads to its own issues of hilarity. This is a super fun episode, with a twist on the usual monster trope. In other words, it's the monsters that are the ones being terrorized. And let's not forget the mind control. Charmed, Season 3, Episode 4. All Hallowell's Eve. Bet you forgot Charmed existed, let alone had a Halloween episode. Well, actually 2, but the first one is the more memorable one. The Charmed ones are sent back to the 1600s to save a baby from being born into evil. And this is a time period where it's not exactly a good thing to be a witch, and in fact more likely to get you hanged. Except they can't actually use their powers because they technically don't exist in this time period. It gives them a chance to get in touch with their own witchy roots, the source of their powers, things that have been forgotten. We're talking flying broomsticks, spells and charms, and the natural world at large. Add in a demon and a few Grimlocks, and you got yourself a Halloween special. The baby in question turns out to be their ancestor in a long line of witches that ends in the 3 most powerful, the Charmed ones themselves. All in all, it's nice to get back to the roots of All Hallows Eve. Sabrina the Teenage Witch, Season 3, Episode 6. Good Will Haunting. Here's a blast from the past. We're going back into my own childhood with a classic. Sabrina really pulled out all the stops for Halloween, with a Halloween episode every single season. I mean, it is an important holiday in the universe, but Good Will Haunting is definitely one of the better ones in the run of the show. Sabrina, Hilda, and Zelda are invited to their Aunt Beulah's annual Halloween party. Sabrina has a reason to get out of it, but Hilda and Zelda, not so much. Sabrina's having a double date with her friends, but her Aunt Beulah decides to surprise her in the form of a Molly dolly, and that's as horrifying as it sounds. Dolls are inherently creepy, and this one is a million times worse since it begins to terrorize Sabrina and her friends. So if you're looking for a little bit of nostalgia with a bit of a creep factor, plus a little bit of campy, this is definitely the Halloween episode for you. Goosebumps, Season 1, Episode 1. The Haunted Mask. Did you grow up watching Goosebumps? I never actually did, but I loved the book series, and even more so, the more adult version of Fear Street. But what a way to start off a series, and only a few days before Halloween. Brilliant. This episode is definitely creepy. Masks in general are. But we follow the character of Carly Beth, who is the world's biggest scaredy cat. Seriously, she's absolutely afraid of everything. But sick of being scared by everyone, she decides to scare everyone else. She goes to a store and she practically steals a mask, and then proceeds to be the biggest asshole in the world and terrorizes everybody. Except, in the end, she can't actually get the mask off. And when she goes back to the store to get answers, she's terrorized by even more horrific masks. As a kid, this probably would have been absolutely terrifying. But now it's just a good fun time with cheesy Canadian acting. You're not likely to get scared by this, but if you have kids, they might be a little freaked out. Teen Wolf Season 3, Episode 16. Illuminated. Okay, so maybe you just want to have a good fun time with a Halloween theme, and not have the shit scared out of you. Well, Teen Wolf might be the way to go for you. Inarguably the strongest season of the entire series, the town of Beacon Hills is under a curfew because of a massive blackout. So what do the teens of the town do? Well, throw a blacklight party, of course. It's not like there's weird warrior demons with yellow eyes attacking members of the supernatural community. Oh wait, there is. Most of this episode is actually Styles trying to solve the mystery of the key that appeared on his keychain. And then we have the people that are dancing, groping, and making out in glowing paint. Plus, members of the pack being attacked by weird warrior demons. It's pretty light on the scare factor that you usually want with most of your Halloween episodes, but a fun time is still had by most, and we get this absolutely awesome Derek moment. Grimm Season 2, Episode 9. La Llorona. Grimm is another one of those shows that seems to live in a constant state of Halloween. Grimm's fairy tales, to be exact, which are messed up in their own right. This show is part police procedural drama, part fantasy, which I gotta say is not something you usually see combined. But they certainly know how to pull off a Halloween episode by tapping into a classic Hispanic myth. Kids in Portland are going missing, which kind of puts a damper on the Halloween spirit. So it's up to Nick and Hank to figure out why. It's La Llorona, of course, the weeping woman who steals children. And as a huntsman, it's up to Nick to take her down. This is a great take on a classic myth, with one foot in the modern world and one foot in history. Plus, it's absolutely creepy and heartbreaking. Whenever kids are involved, it really ramps up the stakes.
Here goes. That's pretty great, right? Unless you're a pumpkin.
So that's it for this time. I hope you enjoyed seeing a few of the Halloween episodes that I've come across in my very long history of watching TV. And what do you think of my mask? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe. Cheers!